3 months ago, I had my second baby, and by the end of my pregnancy, I'd gained about 29 pounds. After losing the initial weight from delivery and actually having the baby, I had about 15 to 16 pounds to lose. And in just exactly 3 months, I was able to lose all of it without counting calories, without feeling hungry, and without doing a crazy amount of exercise. And I did it all by following these three major rules. And these are rules that are pretty counterintuitive to what you've heard before. But oh my gosh, do they work? So today I wanted to share the 3 rules that I followed to achieve my sustainable fat loss goal without feeling hungry. Let's dive into it. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition human performance. On my channel, I share the science-backed and delicious information to help you achieve your weight loss and wellness dreams without counting calories. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Okay, so the first rule is to eat until satisfied. Now hear me out because I know that sounds confusing. Because people think that you need to feel hungry in order to lose fat. That's actually not true. In fact, feeling hungry could be a sign that you're doing sustainable fat loss wrong. When you're feeling hungry, you're more likely to reach for foods that do not support your goals. Think of sugary, processed, starchy foods. Hunger also could be a sign that you're not eating enough protein, which protein is needed to help prevent muscle loss during the fat loss journey. If you lose muscle when you're losing weight, then that can really slow down your metabolism and make your fat loss journey just not sustainable. Instead, eating until satisfied makes it really easy to bypass sugary sweet treats, and it is so helpful for stopping your metabolism from tanking. And if you're breastfeeding like I have been, you know that hunger can just be crazy during this time. I have never felt more insatiably hungry than when I've been breastfeeding with my second child. So eating until satisfied helps reduce that hunger. And for me, it's helped to really protect my milk supply so that I can still breastfeed my child. Now, the thing is, this rule only works if you do it a certain way, because eating until satisfied does not mean eating just whatever you want until you feel sickly full. Instead, it's a strategic, science-backed method of combining certain foods to lower hunger hormones and raise satiety hormones to feel full. So the way you do this is with the proper combination of protein, fat, and fiber. That balance and finding that balance is very important, if not crucial, if not the crux of everything. Along with this, it's also very, very important to stick to meals and not have snacks. If you think about it, snacking inherently means that you didn't eat until satisfied at your last meal. So not only is it a sign that you're doing it wrong or possibly doing it wrong, but snacking also stops your body from cleaning out the gut in between meals. So it could lead to more issues like bloating. And this is how I did it. This postpartum, I found that especially protein and fiber were the game changers for me. Like I mentioned, I've been so much more hungry this postpartum than with my first baby. I do not count calories, but I do make sure to hit a rough range of my protein and fiber. For my protein, I aim for 30 to 40-ish grams of protein at each meal from quality sources like beef, egg, Greek yogurt, my zero added sugar protein powder, chicken, and cottage cheese. Protein helps to raise the satiety hormone, peptide YY, and really helps to shut off that feeling of hunger while still protecting the metabolism during the fat loss journey. Eating up protein also helps you to specifically target fat while minimizing the muscle loss from your total weight loss. As for fiber, it helps to make you feel full by stretching out the stomach and feeding the good gut bacteria, both of which help to tell your brain that you're satisfied from the meal. Upping my fiber to about 30 to 50 grams per day has really helped me to wipe out my hunger from breastfeeding, which I recently did a full video on the top fiber sources that I eat every single week, especially during this time. If you want to check that out, I'll have it linked right up here. And then I've also strategically used starchy carbs to help with my muscle recovery. With my last postpartum after my first baby, I lost a lot of muscle and I was a lot more carb sensitive. So I did not use starchy carbs this early on during my fat loss journey. But because of what I did during my pregnancy with my second baby, where I really focused on eating enough protein and doing the type of exercises to help prevent muscle loss, I was able to add back in those starches a lot earlier and use them in a way to strategically help me with my fat loss journey and my muscle recovery. So I was using foods that contain starches like beans and sweet potato and the occasional sourdough to fuel my workout recovery without derailing my progress. And the specific nutrition tools that I use are from my body recomposition program. This is the exact program that I followed during my postpartum journey with my first baby. I had amazing success with it. I lost 20 pounds with it the first time around, and I decided to use it again this time around. The body recomposition program is loaded with science-backed tips, recipes, and a 6-week meal meal plan that balances protein, fat, and fiber to support sustainable fat loss without counting calories. Thousands of our community members have used this plan to help them achieve their fat loss goals. Plus, the recipes taste amazing and are super simple to throw together. Some of my favorites are the blueberry almond protein waffles, the raspberry lemon chia jam, salmon cakes, crunchy spiced chickpeas, and cauliflower nachos. And I've never done this before, but for the next month, for just my YouTube community, I'm actually sharing a special discount of 20% off my body recomposition program when you use code AUTUMN20 at checkout. I've never done this before, but I just love this program so much. It's helped me twice now to achieve my fat loss goals so effortlessly, and it's helped thousands of others on their journeys as well. So I wanted to make sure everyone can get their hands on it. So head over to autumnlnutrition.shop and use code AUTUMN20 at checkout to get 20% off my body recomposition program. I'll have the body recomposition program pop up right here somewhere, but I'll also have it linked down description below so you don't miss out on that discount. Okay, the second major rule that I followed was introducing exercise at the right time. Exercise helps with fat loss, but it can also really hinder it. Too much, and especially introducing it at the wrong time, can delay postpartum healing, lead to pelvic floor issues or just injuries in general, and even cause overtraining that can actually make it harder to tap into fat burning. Especially when paired with lack of sleep from the newborn phase, you've got to be careful. So it must be introduced at the right time, and it must be balanced properly, and it must be ramped up at the appropriate speed. So first, the right timing. Now this is unique to just postpartum, but starting exercise too soon after delivering a baby can lead to some pretty serious long-term pelvic floor issues that can make exercise difficult, if not impossible, further down the line. So obviously that's just not very sustainable. Now I had a super normal and relatively easy birth. For those of you guys who haven't heard about my story, I literally had Jack in 1 hour. I was getting ready for bed, contractions started, and he was born an hour later. It was nuts. Midwives barely made it. Thank God they live close. But even though my delivery was pretty simple, I still had this massive internal wound from literally like having a baby, and I needed time to have that wound heal. Even though I felt great, I really had to like scale myself back and tell myself to calm down. I can wait to exercise. So for the first 2 weeks postpartum, I literally just like laid in bed. If I was really crazy, I like walked to the front gate of our yard, but I made sure not to be on my feet too much so that I could really prioritize healing. And that patience really made it so my recovery could be sped up so I could get back to normal exercise faster. After the first 2 weeks, I did start to walk, although I would only do like 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 steps for the first couple weeks. And it wasn't until 7 weeks postpartum when I was cleared for exercise that I actually did start exercising again. Now I started off really slow. I only did simple pelvic floor exercises, only really light body weight exercises. I started Pilates, just things to start to build strength back up again. Again, really being patient with my body and giving it time to heal so I didn't fall into the trap of overtraining, which then leads me to it being balanced, because the body really thrives on a well-balanced workout routine. I'm pretty infamous for my walking is better than running for weight loss video that was done, I think like 7 years ago, but really that same sentiment can be said about any type of exercise. Just running is an easy one that a lot of people tend to overdo. When we just focus on one type of exercise really aggressively all the time, it can lead to overtraining. So instead, what I've been doing that has worked out so well for me is really balancing out my workout routine. So now that I am fully back into my normal workout schedule, I do Pilates 1 time per week to focus on my core. I do strength training like traditional weightlifting about 2 to 4 times per week, really depending on my sleep and my schedule. I walk every day, largely thanks to my walking pad at my desk. And then for the cardiovascular benefits, I do throw in about 2 to 3 days per week of a very, very light jog. I'm so out of shape cardiovascular speaking, especially postpartum, so I'm only getting about 10 to 15 minutes of jogging each time that I do go out, and it is very slow, like the butterflies are passing me. And then the third rule I've been following is embracing the beginner mentality. Have you guys heard of the newbie gains? Usually it's in reference to people who just start working out and they see a lot of muscle strength results really quickly. This is because the body is really responsive to those initial changes. But the same can be applied for fat loss progress too. When you do the right combination of things, especially if you haven't done it in a while, you can see some pretty significant progress really quickly. And that can be really motivating and help to continue that sustainable progress for the long term. And just even having a fat loss goal in general has been really inspiring for me because I am goal oriented. Having this goal has led me to actually working towards something. And it gets me excited to see that the things I'm doing on a daily basis results in my clothes fitting better, having more energy, and building strength every day, which makes me want to keep going. It's the act of going going from not feeling great to then suddenly feeling so good. That's such a good reminder for me of why I do the things that I do every single day. And just taking the time to really focus on those tools that help bring me back to feeling great again and actually seeing the results helps to then build those tools as habits for the long run. It's for the same purpose and same mentality for why I run periodic challenges within our community, because I know how powerful those concentrated times of focusing on your wellness goals can be to make them then trickle into your everyday life as well. It's not about a quick fix, but instead it's about quick wins that help to fuel the long-term success. And honestly, I've just really embraced that for my own journey right now too. So if you guys want those tools to help support your fat loss journey without counting calories, make sure you grab my body recomposition program and use that code AUTUMN20 at checkout so that you get 20% off. That discount is only available for a short time, so make sure you grab it before it's gone. Now, as I've mentioned, eating more fiber has been a huge part of my fat loss journey. So if you want to check out those 10 high fiber foods that I've been eating every week, you can find it with this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.